Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Unified champion Anthony Joshua and challenger Jarrell Miller have met face-to-face for the first time since their fight for June 1st was confirmed, with the initial press conference held at Madison Square Garden. I'll come to a highlights montage very shortly. It's action-packed, there's a lot of drama, a bit of spice to it, so stay tuned. The event itself, it started with a shove. You can see this on screen, slowed down, and Jarrell Miller, I guess you could say, he sucker pushed Joshua, who wasn't expecting it, sending him backwards, and then security became involved. As soon as it happened, I actually laughed, and I thought Joshua should have seen this coming, especially given some of Miller's theatrics back in July 2018 when he ambushed Joshua and Alexander Povetkin on stage at the DAZN launch and started getting into it with Joshua. And to me, back then, that seemed a bit staged. And this here, Joshua looked to be caught unawares by it. And that shove, it really set the scene for the press conference that was to come. It was littered with name-calling, profanity, Joshua biting at Miller's constant barbs and interjections, Joshua getting in his own taunts towards Jarrell Miller, and generally Miller was he looked to be trying to do anything possible to try piss off the champion, get under his skin, get in his head. And the end result was a bitter, acrimonious, and sometimes childish event. And of course, I've condensed the best of that into a montage, but be warned, there is some strong language and themes in this montage.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to hear. 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 That's what the real AJ want to hear.
Number one, Miller's a little bitch. I'm gonna knock him the out on June 1st. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt. He's an ex-kickboxer, drug abuser, punches like a fairy. Fury knocked him out 7 times, right? He's the softest puncher in the heavyweight division.
Your mom think I'm hit hard though.
Where's your mom? She'd be lucky. I pay her rent now.
Yeah.
I pay her rent now.
Yeah.
I pay her rent.
I would jump on this cross table and knock your pretty face off right now. Say I won't come over and slap shit out you.
I'm your landlord.
Say I won't come over and slap shit out you right now. If you gangster, say I won't come over and slap shit out you right now.
Man.
Say it then.
Shut the fuck
up. You know why? Because you're a pussy, that's why. Say I won't come over there and slap fight. And mark my word, Eddie can't stop me from coming through him.
2 guns to your head.
Say that punk ass take a seat first in my city. I sit down when I feel like it. I'm home. Ain't nobody dictate to me. I told him the minute sign that contract is gonna be rated up. I hold my mouth long enough. I'm freaking home. Remember I told you that. Ain't nobody gonna dictate to me. I starved on these streets, lived on these streets, eat off these streets.
Man, you had the roaches, the rats, and the dirt. We was under the dirt. Roaches came before us. Cause they knew where the food was at. I work hard for this. Hard. And remember this, let me tell you something right now. He didn't want this fight first. He wanted the easy money. He wanted Dylan White first. Because he's such a cheap ass mofo, he didn't want to pay Dylan White. When he found they had to pay taxes and all kind of stuff over here, that kind of hurt him. He gotta earn a seat at my table. It's a dog table.
Unbelievable talking.
Don't clap.
Something like a Hollywood movie.
Don't clap.
I nearly had a tear in my eye, big baby. I don't see no 50 million. I'm gonna cut you there because there weren't no 50 million. But get your facts straight. Don't put words in my mouth.
Don't put words in his mouth. Only penises.
I ain't in his feelings.
I've got to come in and say something. Your questions are terrible. You asked me some questions over there. One, we never see the 50 million. 2, how can he be disrespected? He's giving him a world title shot in his backyard. Next question.
Man, whatever, bro. I'll lift you, I'll run you, I'll box you, I'll beat you up any day. 100 times I'll beat you up, bro. Any day of the week. Yeah. Nah, just stop talking shit. Stop talking shit, baby. Stop talking shit.
I'm your landlord. You put any heavyweight here, cut him in half, he's full of shit.
You gotta understand this, bro. Real recognized real. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. And I don't like it. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like the way he look. I don't like nothing he do. I don't like him. I don't like you. Man, you have no idea, man. He about the bread, man. He about the moolah. You know what I mean? Listen, man. Plain and simple, man. If anybody from Brooklyn that came here as an immigrant, they know what it's like.
Broken record.
We gotta win.
Shut up.
You know what I mean? Plain and simple.
Big Baby the parrot.
Yeah.
Let's keep on repeating the same story. You heard it. I told you, I'm the landlord. I'm collecting rent.
He the landlord.
Don't
Look how he
forget.
sound. He's so amazing. He said it 5 times.
Anyway.
Bro. I'm the landlord.
But that's where it's coming from.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Down
the
here. Next
landlord.
question.
Which one is your mum, Jarrell? How you doing, man? You look beautiful. Thank you for coming out to see me as well.
His girlfriend called me. He got small pecker.
Thank
I'm just
you so
saying.
much.
You gotta be
Okay,
careful.
Thank you for
Let's
coming out to
focus
see
on the
me.
questions. Yes, sweet science. Yes.
I'm sorry about your son as well. He can bring out the worst in someone.
Man,
you
he
know?
got my small pecker, man. Small pecker. Be careful. Big
you say?
disappointment. He talking about drug abuse. What drug he talking about? We're talking about
You know
son. I
what
was
it
in a
is?
pre-workout. This motherfucker has fucking use exemptions for testosterone, all kind of shit. Like, get out of here. Be like, I've been doing my research on you. Who comes out of Olympics at 220 and go to 240 in a year? Like, get out of here, B. You sound like a dickhead. I know bodybuilders don't even put 20 pounds of muscle on a year. You know what I mean? We're gonna rip that thong off his ass and put it on his
We're
forehead.
gonna break it here.
No.
We'll be.
Talk about it. Talk about it. No. Talk about it.
Yeah, Agent wanna keep talking. Look at him. Well, guess what? I'm out of here. He could kiss my black ass.
Little bitch. It's kind of like a parrot. I was just saying you cut Jarrell Miller in half and it'd just be a ranking disease. I feel like he's toxic. I feel like you can put any top heavyweight in the world up here and he'll probably say the same thing about them all. So it's just him as a person and then he just needs a beat down, needs humbling. And instead of eating cheeseburgers, I'm going to feed him some humble pie.
Anthony Joshua there ending that little montage saying he's going to make Miller eat some humble pie. He's going to beat him on June 1st. And Miller is saying similar things. He's going to beat Joshua and take his belts. So in terms of this press conference, what did we learn? Not nearly as much as I would have liked. Miller was clearly looking to needle Anthony Joshua at any opportunity to try get in his head and test him mentally even before the opening bell on June 1st. And Joshua himself, he did look to meet, fire with fire, labeling Miller a drugs cheat, the softest puncher in the heavyweight division, and that he is Miller's landlord and that he's going to be collecting rent. And the landlord bit, that was used throughout by Joshua, and I'm not sure Miller really liked it, and Joshua repeated it 5 or 6 times. And he tried to meet Miller's taunts regarding his mother as well, by mentioning Miller's mother and addressing her directly at one point. And part of this bitterness on display, no doubt it's going to be to build the fight. If Joshua fights in the UK, it's already a big event. He's a big star there. He doesn't need to explode on his opponent. He doesn't need to really trash talk them incessantly to the extent that we saw in this presser in the United States at Madison Square Garden with Miller. But in the United States, boxing, it doesn't necessarily have the same foothold in the news media or in general as it does in the UK. So this presser being littered with trash talk galore, canned statements, canned lines, quotes galore, a shove off at the face off, and all round a bitter atmosphere, it is going to help build the fight to some extent in the US, where Joshua and Miller are not big stars. So some of that, I can see why they've done it and why it happened that way, because they need to build the fight, and that's probably going to get a few headlines off the back of some of what happened in the United States, get into the media there. You might see it on SportsCenter, the New York media, where obviously it's a massive market in New York, several million people living in that city, and more broadly, if they can get some attention across the United States in this fight, because they're having this on DAZN, they want to get more subscribers to that platform. And obviously building the fight back home, in the United Kingdom, that'll be part of it too. So expect to see more of the same going forward. One thing Joshua did say that was interesting was, I'll knock him spark out in round 7. He can't survive in deep waters. So clearly he expects it's going to take some rounds at least to break Miller down. And it's unlikely to be over with one punch or 2 punches, in a combination early on. He expects that, it is going to take some time, but from the sounds of it, he's looking forward to really putting the beat down on Miller, putting the hurt on, and serving Miller up some humble pie as he says he wants to do. And some of that back and forth, I think with the UK angle, with Miller playing the villain, that's going to galvanise Joshua's support base, and it'll garner some interest in the upcoming pay-per-view in the UK, which is at a different time. It's a different scenario that Joshua is in now. He's fighting abroad. So having some of this rivalry sort of manufactured to an extent, you could say, in the next few months, it's going to help, sell the fight back in the United Kingdom, where, part of Joshua's payday is coming from. It's tied to that. So the Sky box office, if that does really well in the United Kingdom, Joshua gets a bigger chunk. So obviously he needs it to do well in the UK to get a bigger payday. So he, Matchroom, Sky, they've all got a vested interest to help sell this fight as hard as possible. So inserting some spice, which we've just seen at the first presser with trash talk galore and what some people would say is out of character statements, but we have seen that from Anthony Joshua before. Doing all that stuff, it's one way to go about trying to sell that fight and build the rivalry in the next few months. They've got about 3 months now until that fight. It is actually quite a ways off, so they're going to need to do a few things over the next couple of months to keep it bubbling away, keep the rivalry going. So expect to see all manner of things popping up in the media of Jarrell Miller sort of being painted as the villain, and he looked to be playing that role well and truly at that press conference. What did you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.